Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Gear here. We're back with our Q&A. This is Season 3, Episode 15. Getting right into it, our first question comes from Cons Mercado, and they say, I have a question. I'm not sure if you experience this in multiplayer battles, but whenever I use Astro Harness, why does my character who uses it does not counter immediately when the shield is activated? It's like they nerf it, so there'd be a delay in movement, even though I tap it to use a special one or two. Then, when my character can actually counter or move the enemy already switched characters, which is frustrating.
So what's interesting about this question and sort of our perspectives is we can play the same game, but clearly have different perspectives because it's not something that I thought about before. But now that you've asked it, it clearly doesn't seem ideal. But until you asked it, I just incorporated it into the way I approach the game, right? So there's certain things that happen. For example, the Enchantress gear, the effect doesn't allow specials, but actually allows you to do swipe or tap combos. And I don't really think about it too much. I just do it like that. Or that certain things, we've talked about this before with the refractory period, or just the different delays in the game that change how one combo goes, can beat another combo, sort of like Pokemon, one guy is faster than they're quicker than the other. Or that the AI can finish its combo even when you block, but you can't. So if you look at it in sort of bare bones terms, it seems like a cheat, but it's just, to me, it's a way to balance the game a little bit when you're playing against a dumb algorithm, AI.
Yeah, which makes sense to me, because the AI is almost always going to play worse than you once you've got a certain amount of practice underneath your belt, minus any mistakes you make, so they need to do something to give them kind of advantages that are not totally different. It's not like the AI is getting better stats than your guys or anything inherently.
Yeah, what's funny, actually, one of the things I thought of when you asked this question, Cons, is that Killer Frost, she can totally slow her opponent down, but even when they're slow and they start a really slow swipe combo, if Solomon Grundy starts a really slow swipe combo on you, you can't interrupt. If he hits you with the first one, he finishes the combo.
And that is a little bit annoying, actually. That is something that you have to notice. Because when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, I guess the short answer is we do see the same thing that you do.
Mm-hmm. The next question comes from Rafael de Castro. And they say, hey guys, just a question. What's the best gear for Earth 2 characters for online multiplayer? Thanks.
Alright, so there is no best gear. Or a different answer is, it depends. So right now we have Earth 2 Flash and Earth 2 Solomon Grundy, and Earth 2 Hawkgirl should be coming soon. Because Flash's passive actually helps everyone to have the potential stun on tag-in, you could choose to give any of the 3 Cloak of Destiny to maximize the damage when the opponent's stunned. Now, since Hawkgirl isn't out yet, you can't use her the same way, but her extra stun chance on her combo enders and specials, and the extra stun chance you get if you use her signature gear, the Nth Metal Morningstar, as a third ability that only she gets, you might pick her actually to have the Cloak of Destiny because she's going to be stunning people. Or do the opposite. Let her stun, and then switch out to somebody who can be have their gears maxed out for whatever offensive damage you want, right?
Which is good too.
Yeah. So if whoever you pick to be your stun damage dealer, then you need to decide if you want to have them doing specials or basic attacks on the stunned opponent. So to me, Flash is good for specials because his signature gear has increased power gen. His signature ability is unblockables.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, Solomon Grundy is good too. Never thought I'd say that. Because even though he's slow, you're talking about somebody who's stunned, right? So if you tag in somebody, tag in Solomon Grundy when Hawkgirl stunned the opponent, his special one is one hit, meaning you've got a huge potential for splash damage if you gear him up to do specials and to have the League of Assassins knives.
Yeah, but that's definitely situational, like really situational. You need to basically set that up to make full use of Solomon Grundy on your team.
Sure, but that all it means is that you make Hawkgirl a stunner. You do a bunch of combo enders as much as you can, and specials with her as much as you can. It might even be worth making her a tank, because then you just have more opportunities to do combo enders. As soon as she stuns, drop somebody in, boom. And I think we don't mention this enough. Signature gear is an important consideration if you're not going to go all legendary, and because of the third ability, if you're using on the right character, it's almost as good as legendary gear in some cases.
Yeah.
But you also need to actually consider how you're going to manage a stun-proof opponent like the Red Suns with Green Lantern, or Arkham Knight Batman, or even the lowly underrated Batman Beyond, meaning that you'll need at least one specialist who generates power quickly, because there's a good chance that your basic damage dealer will take too long when you've got no stun and no crits against a Red Sun team that has Green Lantern.
Yeah, so there you go. That's just some things to consider. But the next question comes from K.O Gaming, and they say, what do you think Injustice is like for newcomers currently? I think it can be easy for people to forget how hard it can be to get past the story mode, meet the challenge requirements, and get online exclusives when you've got a wide variety of characters at high promotions and levels. It's quite hard to get quality gold when you're new. Personally, I'm at a mid-level sort of stage, and I'd like to hear what you think about it. And I think that's a really good question.
Yep.
I think we try to think a little bit about that, which is why in our recaps, when we talk about the challenge requirements, we talk about the easiest way to get each character.
Right.
Just because we know that some people are newcomers, or people even who aren't newcomers maybe don't have as much time to play, right?
Right.
And so they'll see a character and they'll be like, okay, well, what's the easiest way for me to get that? And so we try to, when possible, include that information, just because it's important, even though it's no longer important to us.
Yeah.
And I think it's gotten harder and harder to get a full collection.
Sure.
I think the longer they go, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder to even have the ability to get a full collection, theoretically, even with like hacks, or if you account for spending like a literal $1 million, it's getting harder and harder with all the augments and the new characters.
Sure.
And then also the like challenge packs that are, I think, always incomplete, right? Have we ever had a fully complete challenge pack for a long time?
Never. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure never. But my memory, that was years ago when I first introduced it.
So obviously there's content that is functionally like gone.
So it comes back to breaking the game down into the two different ways you can play it, right?
Yeah.
And they're not mutually exclusive. You can play it as a collector, and you can play it as a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a collector and you're obsessive about it, then you're gonna have some frustration.
Yeah, the later you join in, the worse it is for you.
But I think actually it speaks to, besides the straight just power credit glitches, the one most important glitch that's still working for Android, for us at least, is a challenge reset.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the most effective way to play if you want to advance quickly and get through stuff, because what it does is it gives you the opportunity to grind pretty efficiently, and it gives you a chance to cheaply max promote a newish kind of character that has high stats, that can be effective, and with the credits that you're generating, you're going to be able to, buy lots of packs, gears, or otherwise, and it gives you a chance to advance pretty quickly.
And I think when you talk about the actual like rate of advancement, I think it's still comparable. I think it's still similar. Your rate to getting your first maxed out guy and your like your first when you include the cost of getting gear and stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to be a little bit slower getting kind of maxed out the same way.
Oh, yeah, because it's a longer race.
Yeah, but I think what this speaks to is when we started playing the game, it wouldn't have mattered if there was twice as many characters, right? We wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have been paying that much attention. I think what it really is it breaks down to how many categories of stuff you need to collect. So when we started playing, there was only bronze, silver, and gold, and then like the stat boost cards.
Right.
And then I guess also like buying specials and all that stuff. So when you looked at it, there was a little bit of money put into characters, a little bit of money put into like upgrading their specials and all that, and that was pretty much it. And then with the update,
and then the support cards.
Yeah, with the update that introduced gear, that's another thing. Then with augments, that's another thing. With online rewards, it's the same kind of thing, but it's in a different kind of set of play. Right. And there's other stuff in Survivor too. I think the main difference now would be if we started playing now, there would be an overwhelming number of categories to start from.
Right.
It would be less of a kind of Titan focus, like I'm gonna get a good character and then I'm gonna upgrade that character. Now it's like I need to get this character in this gear, and then also I guess I need to participate in this multiplayer season, and I need to do I think it's just a lot more to manage all at once.
Right.
Is the main difference.
And before we get to the next question, actually, I want to point out what's happening on the screen. So that was a tactical error. Sometimes in a fight, when you've got Killing Joke Joker, if you've got a guy with Astro Harness, it can be a pretty effective strategy to just quickly finish the fight if you just go ahead and kill Killing Joke Joker as fast as you can, and bring in Aquaman to absorb a super, but that was a minor miscalculation, and it's dragging out a little bit longer. I mean, there's no real danger because Ares, unless he gets to his second special, isn't that useful, but it's more of a war of attrition now because we both got Astro Harness.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I just, for those who are actually watching
there we
action.
go. The next question, and these are kind of two questions that are basically asking the same thing, comes from Roger Arvizu, and he says, do you guys ever think what's next after Injustice 1 stops updating? And Zildjian Rucker, and they say, hey, love the video, guys. So building off your YouTube question, what are you guys going to make videos of after content for Injustice stops?
Yeah, so Roger's question is a little bit ambiguous, and we're going to intentionally interpret it the way we want to answer it.
Yeah.
Because it can imply that what's going to happen for the game after it stops updating.
Or what's going to happen for us.
Right.
And we're narcissists, so we'll go with that one. We are YouTubers after all.
Yeah.
But I guess the short answer is that we don't have any plans. This is really, we're doing it because we like it, and this is the thing that we like making content for. And I think any other shift would change enough stuff around that it would be kind of a different ballgame, and I don't know if that would work. I think we'd probably want to try something, but...
We might. I guess my feeling is that the only reason that this channel has been successful isn't because, you know, our voices are so melodious that people have to get their fix of us every week, or that our commentary is so stunning that no matter what we talk about, it's going to be great. I think it's because we have specific expertise in Injustice. We've been doing it a long time, and we came in at a time when the ecosystem for Injustice YouTubers was still relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
So we established ourselves early, and I think if we switch to something else, it would have to be something that we really, really love, because by any metric that you measure success, we won't be successful in the next thing that we try.
Yeah, and I feel like if we're gonna do something, I watch a decent amount of YouTube, and the stuff that I watch is mostly comedy, which I feel like would be a big departure, and I also don't necessarily trust my comedy chops enough.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm naive enough to think that if I just started making videos, I would be instantly funny.
Right.
And there's also like video essays, a lot about like game design specifically too. And I think that would be closer to what we're making now, but I'm also not entirely sure that I have anything especially interesting to say on that front either.
That's true, actually. One of the hardest things about having a YouTube channel is creating content, like something worthwhile.
Yeah,
doing
meaningful content.
Sure.
Because I want to make a video that at the end of the day I think is worth watching.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that maybe I wouldn't watch. Like I think the important part is that, and I'm not sure there's something that's not Injustice that we could actually do that for. I don't think there's anything else, at least for me, I don't know about you, that I would think about and say, you know what, I think I have something valuable to say that other people aren't right now, or that other people can't.
Yeah. There was a time when when our numbers were a lot lower and our unboxing videos were actually right up there. They were doing almost just as well as our gaming stuff.
Yeah.
And when it was that, I got a lot of joy out of sharing some of the junk that we have at home, like just cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
But clearly the audience for that isn't nearly as big as I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten away from it. We're getting less free stuff. I mean, that was part of the reason why I liked doing the YouTube channel, was because we would get free stuff. I won't lie.
Yeah. So I think it would just be a lot closer to starting from scratch if we did anything else than it would be transitioning the channel. Like, we
know that, though.
Yeah, anytime we do anything else, and it's not bad, like, vote with your views, right? Obviously, watch what you're interested in and don't watch what you're not interested in. But when we do something that's not Injustice, when we when we did some, like, Let's Plays or whatever for a little bit in there, people didn't really watch it, and I get it. Our content was, like, okay, not amazing, but okay, but people didn't watch it, so I think this is probably it for us. But we're okay with that. I think we've come to terms with it for sure. It's not a bad thing.
Listen, and unless we drop less than 1,000 subscribers, we still get to go to the YouTube parties at YouTube Space. So
yeah,
that's still something.
So there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.